I was pitching to Mark Ferrandino by text. We text each other. And I said, you know, I think that House district needs a Latino representative. And I'm going to talk to my friend Mandy Rodriguez with the College Democratic Party Latino Initiative. And I said, but let me wait a week and see if I'm less pissed off. But anyway, but the other thing I thought of, though, because I'm always trying to look on the right side of the Buddha thing, is that experience with the industry working on that bill on prior authorization said to me, you know, if they had me working on this interim committee thinking they were going to try and help me, it would take a lot of my time and energy. And I said, and now instead what they've done is they've freed me to go out and be a community organizer for the interim. And one of the cool things is that we got a letter from the American College of Physicians that supported my interim committee bill. And there's a group now of 41 doctors called 41 that want to learn what my ideas are and go out and be ambassadors for this. And I'm going to also work with the nurses. So I'm going to organize. And I'm going to organize so I can get. They're going to force me to do it through the grassroots, which is probably a better way to do it anyway. And then next year when it's time to take that vote, instead of me fighting the lobby, it will be all of that person's constituents fighting the lobby, and that will be more powerful. So it's a fascinating, brutal game down here. I'm finding out every day what else you need to do to win. We had a legislator who had worked with a colleague, and what happens when you're the majority is that you fight against yourselves, right? Because some of you are more progressive than others, and Republicans in some ways don't have a vote as much. And so we had a colleague who didn't like another colleague's bill. She had agreed to amend it so the woman would vote it out of committee, and then once it went to the other chamber, they stripped that amendment off, right? So it's like, oh my God, these are my own friends, you know, pooping on me. And so what this colleague didn't know is I knew this story. So she was in my committee yesterday, and she said, well, let's just pass it like this, and I'll amend it on the floor. And I'm like, no, we're not going to do that, because now I've learned how this is played. So every year you learn something new, which I think is one of the few negatives to term limits, is that by the time you really know how to be expert at the game, your time is up. And then you become a lobbyist, and you screw all the legislators. So, but anyway, I won't be a lobbyist, I promise you. I really do hope to retire someday, and I'd really like to do that first with the person who will do so. 4 years, I'll be looking for you to help me this summer. Thanks, guys. Thank you.
We've got a couple more of our legislators have shown up for a quick check-in before they go to the House floor. 3 of them here. We've got Representative McCann, Representative Williams, and Representative Kagan. You can take a couple minutes each maybe to highlight whatever you need to, and we'll see you on the House floor.
All right. Well, welcome to the Capitol. Many of you have been down here before, I know. I represent House District 8, which is all around City Park, Park Hill, Congress Park, northeast, part of northeast Denver. So pretty central area and a great district. I'm very lucky to have the district I have. So we have been very busy here. We were here till about 9:30 last night, and one committee started again at 7:30 this morning. So we're trying to pack in a lot over the next week and a half. We need to finish up a lot of bills that have been sort of out there, and we're concluding. So some of the things that I've been doing this year, which I'm really pleased about, of course, were several of the gun control bills, which we have now passed, all of them. One has to go back to the Senate because of amendments, but we've passed those. And those 3 of them have been signed by the governor, and 2 more will hopefully be signed soon. And then I have one more today, which is a task force to look at the whole area of substance abuse and mental health issues and access to firearms. So we're setting up a task force, assuming that bill passes, to look at these issues in more depth. Because the more I've gotten involved in it, the more complex I've learned it is. Another bill that I had is a bill to combine this different kinds of involuntary holds for mental health is one, and then we have one for alcohol abuse and one for drug abuse. So the idea is Department of Human Services is looking at combining those so that they will be more more easily understood and not be as confusing for folks who are in that situation. Then I've done a couple of bills in the domestic violence arena, one involving access to guns, which is the one that has to go back to the Senate, but also one to increase the ability of courts to look at safety of children and domestic violence victims when they are entering parental orders in domestic relations cases and in protective orders. So that's been an 18-month process with a task, not a task force, but a group of people looking at how to strengthen our laws for domestic violence victims and child abuse victims. So really happy about that one. I also have a bill to put into law some of the guidelines that judges should look at when people go through a divorce in terms of maintenance. And maintenance is what we used to call alimony. So we'll have more specific guidelines about what should govern in those areas. Then I've done several bills in the health area. I am the chair of the Health Insurance and Environment Committee, which is unfortunately the committee that killed Senator Aguilar's bill last night, or resolution, although I voted for it. But anyway, we're phasing out our Cover Colorado insurance, which is the high-risk insurance for people who haven't been able to get it because of pre-existing conditions. So because we are opening up the health benefit exchange January 1, 2014, that when that goes into effect, you can't be denied insurance because of a pre-existing condition under the Obama Act, Affordable Care Act. So we're phasing out Cover Colorado. We needed to do a bill to do that, and we're transferring some of their revenue source to the benefit exchange because the federal money has to run out for the benefit exchange in 2 years, and we need to have a self-sustaining exchange. So we've also been looking at how to make sure the exchange is successful and that people are aware of it. So we have a very good board and a good director. I think I'm very optimistic about that health insurance exchange process. And then we have a huge bill aligning our state laws with the federal act. It's 169 pages, I think, because we need to make sure our laws are consistent with the federal law. So that's another big bill that I'm doing this year, and I know we have 2 other representatives who want to speak, so I will stop there. But I'm glad you all are down here. It's really what influences us the most is when we have people from our own districts, people who are involved and interested. When you come down and talk to us or send us emails or letters, it makes more impact than the mass emails that we get from different people. So I'm really, really glad you're here, and I think we'll probably have a pretty interesting morning on the House floor since we didn't finish our big environmental bill last night, and we also have the school finance reform bill that we're still debating, which I think is going to be up today as well. So welcome. Thanks.
So I've got Representative Williams here and Representative Kagan. And are you both trying to get to the floor at 9?
Yes.
Yeah, so we've got a couple minutes. And if you could help it for each other, to help each other get there in time. We'll see you later today.
Good morning and welcome to the State Capitol.
Everything
so
done?
happy that you're here today. I'm State Representative Williams, District 7, which is in the state greenhouse management development. Here at the Capitol, I serve as the chair of the Business, Labor, and Economic Workforce Development and the chair of the Audit Committee, and I serve on State Affairs. We have 12 days left in the session, and it is extremely busy here trying to make sure that we get all the legislation that we introduced passed. It's been pretty busy. We've been working, marijuana is our big subject right now, and an energy bill. But for me specifically, I have been working on legislation. One, I don't know if you read about it, but it's compensation for the wrongly convicted. If you heard about the Robert Dooley story, that bill passed on second yesterday in the Senate. I think that we're making something that unfortunately occurred as an injustice justice. And so very happy to be able to do that and assist those who may be wrongly convicted. Other things that might be of interest to you is that through some town halls that we have, we heard a lot of concerns around HOAs this year, my colleagues and I felt like we needed to do some very strong reforms that are more consumer protection. And one of the bills that I sponsored is one that mirrors the HOA debt collection practice. And it says now before an HOA can go file a lien in or foreclose on your home due to past assessments that be due, they have to notify you and they have to at least put you on a 6-month payment plan. And so we felt that that was critical because we heard so many stories of horror stories about people getting notices. The second one is that Kyle is a very complicated law. And so one of the other bills that I sponsored is one in which we're going to regulate HOA managers. There will be some licensing through the Department of Regulatory Agency. We feel like more education and licensing will make this a profession in which they take seriously and be able to interpret the law in which they need to be able to implement. And my colleague, Rep. Ryden, she did one on the HOA Information Center, which we continue to beef that up on a bill she ran previously. And so I've also been running, I'm working on the Firefighters Collective Bargaining Act. It's actually the Safety Act, and we hope to come to some agreements this morning. As a matter of fact, we want to make sure that our firefighters have a voice and that they can sit at the table and talk to their supervisors about non-compensatory matters outside of collective bargaining. And so we feel like we've struck a pretty good agreement with the governor's office, and I hope that we'll be able to close that today. I'm going to cut it short. Those are the highlights, and allow my colleague, Representative Kagan, an opportunity to speak before we have to report on the floor. But thank you for coming today. Remember, this is your house, okay? This is your house. You are welcome here, and the doors are open. If we can be of assistance to you, don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you.
Thank you, and good morning. And I may say that Representative Williams is too modest to say it herself. The leadership she's given on particularly the exculpatory exoneration, compensation for somebody wrongly incarcerated was just wonderful. It was a difficult bill to get through, and she's really been providing some fantastic leadership. I'm Daniel Kagan. I used to be House District 3 in the old House District 3 state rep, which, as you know, included South Central Denver. But there's been a divorce, not of my choice, and it's a real sense of loss. I got to know so many of you, and now I don't represent you anymore. But I do in my heart, but not in law. I'm the chair of the Judiciary Committee, so most of my initiatives that I've done have been to open the doors of the courtrooms to people who would not otherwise get a fair hearing. The judiciary is the great leveler of society. It's the only governmental area where as long as you've got a lawyer, you're equal with the largest corporation. You walk in and you sue General Motors, and before that judge and in that courtroom, you have as much power as General Motors has. And you can't say that in the legislative branch. You can't say that in the executive branch, but you can say that in the judiciary. So it's crucial that we keep the judiciary as the great leveler of society where everyone has equal access to really meaningful representation. So that's something I work on very hard. My big initiative in the area of criminal law is that misdemeanants, once charged with a misdemeanor, are currently in law required, not have the option, but are required to listen to a prosecutor's plea offer without a lawyer if they can't afford one. Before their application for a lawyer is accepted, they have to have met with the prosecutor, who then makes them a plea offer, and of course they take them. So we're sweeping people into the misdemeanor system and flushing them out with literally 5 minutes consideration by a prosecutor. Oh, police say you bound off, resisted arrest, okay, we'll give you a deferred judgment, that'll get you out of jail today. Or you could stay in jail and ask for a lawyer, and we'll see you next week. What are people going to do? What are people going to do? And if you ever wonder, how do people get all these misdemeanors? Your neighbors, your friends, your friends' kids particularly. It's partly because of that. Partly because of this. Yeah. But we've all committed misdemeanors, all of us. I've never met a person who, when I got to know them really well, had never committed a misdemeanor. But there's only a sector of those who actually commit misdemeanors that end up getting a conviction for a misdemeanor, and it's typically because they don't have the wherewithal or the sophistication to know how to navigate the system. So we're trying to remedy that. Similarly, in cases of discrimination on the basis of gender or sexual orientation or age or any of those other suspect bases for discrimination, we're trying to make sure that when employees of even small companies with less than 15 employees have a claim, that they have the opportunity to present that claim in state court, and if they prevail, and to have, in appropriate cases, their attorney get paid. Because if you try and do it without one, you know, you're really, again, you're effectively kept out of the system if you don't have a lawyer. Not actually, but effectively kept out of the system. So we're trying to keep the doors open. Those are a couple of things I've been involved with. Mostly, I miss my old House District 3. But thank you. And I just so disappointed not to still be representing Denver, South Central Denver. I loved it. I continue to love it. I've knocked on so many thousands of doors, not as many perhaps
As the guy.
as you have, but nearly as many. Maybe. We're up there, like tally. But thank you so much for being here, and my door is always open. 300, room 300, come and see me.